As 2014 draws to a close, it gives us a great opportunity to look back at the many highlights and improvements that, with your support, we've been able to make to horse welfare around the world, but also the huge challenges that remain in this, the Chinese Year of the Horse. And in looking forward, I wanted to share an idea of the 5 Christmas wishes that I'd like to suggest to improve horse welfare around the globe. My first wish is that there can be a growing international understanding of the role of working equids in the world today. There are over 100 million working equines, and the vast majority of these will be working on Christmas Day because they have no choice, because their owners have no choice, because their working equines are their means to their very survival. And that important link between equine welfare and human welfare was the centrepiece of the 7th Working Equid Colloquium that World Horse Welfare hosted back in July, where over 150 delegates from 28 countries came together to share their experiences, but also to explore how we can collaborate together and work with governments across the world to improve their policy making when it comes to the importance of working equines. And given the importance of working equids across the globe, I'm delighted to let you know that our aim by the end of 2017, with your continued support, is to double the number of countries where we are currently working across the globe. We are looking to focus this principally in Latin America and across Africa. But of course, the more support we can receive, the greater a number of countries and therefore working equines we can reach. My second Christmas wish is that each and every one of you will act further to help horses. The stark reality is, in the UK and across Europe, horses have never needed our support more. And by that, I mean your support and ours. We have a collective responsibility to look after not only our horses, but the horses in our yards, in our regions, and indeed across the continent. This year, you have called our welfare line to investigate welfare complaints in the UK in record numbers. I ask you next year to do the same and more, because only with your help, with your guidance, can we get to the horses that really need our help. But I'd also ask you to think further about how you can support our work. For example, our campaigning work has never been more important, and 2014 really has seen some notable successes, and that has only been possible with your support of what we do. Across Europe, our campaign to end the long-distance transport of horses for slaughter has got a real resonance within the Commission. That has only been possible with your campaigning. Our support to improve the checks on the thousands of horses being exported from our shores has only been made possible with your support. And of course, as I speak now, a bill to combat the scourge of fly grazing is going through Parliament. We are on a road to success there, but that will only be made possible if we keep the pressure on. And of course, none of our campaigning work could be possible without financial support. So this Christmas, I asked you to reflect on how you can help us more in the UK and across Europe. Whether that is to be our eyes and ears on the ground in the UK, whether that be in our campaigning work, or whether that be financially to support our ongoing work. Please consider how much you can do to support equine welfare in this time of real crisis. One sign of this crisis is the number of welfare cases we are taking in when we are dealing with 10 to 50 to over 100 animals at a time, most of whom are unhandled. And hence, all of our centres are in the process or have now got facilities to help us better deal with these significant welfare cases. And we were so delighted back in April when our President, Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal, came to visit those facilities at our Lancashire farm firsthand. It's so important that we are able to take in welfare cases that so urgently need our care. And we can only do this if we are able to rehome more horses from our force centres around the country. So that is the focus for my third wish, that even more people will come forward to rehome horses and offer them new, loving homes in 2015. We are delighted that the past year has seen a near record performance of the number of horses that we have rehomed. Over the past few years, we have really been trying to challenge people about why buy a horse when you can rehome. By doing so, you are freeing up a space for us to take another animal in urgent need. But also there are so many advantages to rehoming horses over buying them. And that is a message that is really beginning to take hold. And I would urge you to spread that word, because the reality is we have a vast array of animals ready for rehoming at any time, from companions to sport horses and a vast number of leisure horses in between. And that is why I was so delighted to announce at our conference this year a pilot project with the Retraining of Racehorses charity. This is a project at our Norfolk Centre that is going to be fully funded by the Retraining of Racehorses charity and will be in addition to our current welfare capacity. But this is another example how we will seek to explore all possibilities to increase our rehoming capacity and therefore help more horses in desperate need in the UK today. So the theme of collective responsibility is never more apparent than with the world of sport. When we use horses in sport, we have an ever-increasing responsibility to manage and support their welfare. We believe it's good news that horse sport is growing across Europe and around the world. But the importance of supporting and protecting horse welfare has to grow too. World Horse Welfare has long supported the responsible use of horses in sport. But that collective responsibility is even more important in horse sport. We always believed that we should value horses whatever their role, whether that be a sport horse, a leisure horse, a horse used for therapy, or indeed a working equid in the developing world. And of course, whilst we love all horses, whatever their roles, the reality is in the UK and many countries across Europe is that there are simply too many horses for too few loving homes. That is why my fifth and final wish this Christmas is please don't make this situation worse. Think, do you need to breed? We all have a collective responsibility whenever we breed an animal to underwrite and ensure its welfare for the rest of its life. That is a huge commitment and one that we simply don't need to take on in so many cases. There are so many horses already out there, so many horses waiting for new homes at World Horse Welfare and other charities. So my 5 Christmas wishes have given a clear indication of where we will be placing our efforts next year. And I really hope that you will join us in that journey, where we can look to treat all our horses with respect, compassion and understanding. And so it only remains for me to say a heartfelt thank you to all of the staff of World Horse Welfare, both in the UK and around the globe, but also to all of our volunteers that have helped us at so many events and within the office over the past year. And of course to you, our supporters. You are an integral part of the team of our work to help horse welfare. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. And it only remains for me then to wish you, your family, your friends, and of course your equines a very, very happy Christmas and a peaceful 2015.